Oh, 7 for a fallen soldier. We've lost another one. We've lost another one. I retire from Yu-Gi-Oh events. I'm happy to be a champion, but there's not enough reward for all the travel. It would cost me to finish second place in a YCS. Lol. I'll now be taking coaching extremely seriously and create many champions in my place. Thank you. 3 events this season. I booked a flight. I just didn't go the day off. Mexico being one of them. I just stayed home and let my flights go. Simply no reward for 5 days being unproductive. Very excited for this new arc of Trif coaching the future wave of champions. Yeah, so we have lost another duelist. We're getting more spreadsheets. That's true. Yeah, more spreadsheet content. And yeah, it's a sad day, but we've lost Stephen J. Trifahashi. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But talking about the costs and stuff invested when you're at this type of level makes sense. This is the type of thing that applies to like very few people in the world who are quote-unquote pro players, who are basically just full-time Yu-Gi-Oh players, who go to events all the time, travel for every event, have sponsors and stuff, which I think is kind of the confusing thing here, because I thought Trif was sponsored. I thought that was the whole point, was that he was a sponsored player. So I don't know why he's quitting. Like I thought this stuff was all covered for him, but anyway, he's citing not being able to afford to go to events anymore. Doesn't not afford, but doesn't see it as a financial justification or investment. So I don't know. That's weird. But this Fred was definitely a wild ride. I mean, we need to do some Trif math on this. But this is like some justifications here. Now remember, of course, that this is Monopoly money. So it's not real dollars, but flights can be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to a YCS. Hotels, $500 to $1,000 for a hotel? Like, I think 500 on the upper end is justifiable because that works out to what, like 300 euros? Which if you're getting like a decent place to stay at, that I suppose makes sense. But I mean, if you're trying to stay cheap, if you're trying to like, you know, be budget, you can find pretty cheap deals on Airbnbs if you're willing to take public transport, which is a bit of a trek from the venue, but getting venue hotels is always going to be really expensive. If you take public transport and you get like a cheap apartment or something, you can save a lot of money here. I just find it very strange that this is like the justification for. So again, I'm still like confused at the fact that I thought this was a sponsored player. But anyway, someone is just not budgeting correctly. Basically, is the issue here, right? Like someone is just not like budgeting. One thing I noticed as well is that if you insta book the flights and the hotel when a YCS is announced, especially in America, by the way, in America, you people get your events announced for the calendar year. Like, we know what American events are happening 6 months from now. There's like an Anaheim or a California. There's a Cali YCS in like October this year. If you book your hotel or flight for that 6 months from now, you can get a freaking bargain on that. I'm pretty sure, right? So I don't know what type of money he's spending on this. Food $200, lunch, dinner, breakfast, all together total probably sounds about right. We pay £200 each for a week in Orlando accommodation. Yeah, like if you're willing to shop around and you're willing to do a tiny bit of traveling, you can probably get very good deals here. This is average. Business class is double that. Different continent flights are crazy. Potential new cards in deck is probably another 500. See, I don't know what this is. Like, talking about cards and stuff, like, I thought this was like a sponsored player thing, so I don't know what that even means. But again, looking at cards as a cost for a YCS can also be a little bit of a strange way to look at it. When you buy a deck, and we're not going to get into the Yu-Gi-Oh is too expensive thing. Yu-Gi-Oh is too expensive. We know that, okay? We're not talking about that. We're talking about how, like, if you invest in a deck that you pick up and play for a tournament, that's going to cost you because you're buying a deck for one specific purpose. But for the average player who does attend a YCS that's, like, relatively close or near, you probably already have your deck. The deck that you've decided to play this format. A lot of you might be deciding that you're going to play Malice, for example. You're going to have to spend a lot of money. Because you're going to have to buy like probably £200 worth of cards. You need the playset of the hair, and you need a playset of backup Ignister. So that's like 200 plus. Okay, so you take that, but you're going to be playing that for the next like 4 months minimum, right? Maybe 6 months. You're going to go to multiple locals. You're probably going to go to a regional or two, and you're going to go to a YCS. Maybe even nationals and stuff coming up this season. Now, if you look at it as like, I'm buying this deck for this one event, yeah, that's gonna really, it sounds really expensive. But a lot of people are buying decks and cards to use for a large, long period of time. Again, we're not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is too expensive. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is too expensive. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very expensive. We know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very expensive. But it's a little bit misleading to look at it as like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is too expensive when you spend for X event. Like, yeah, of course it's going to seem that way. So yeah, steakhouse 100 plus. If all friends go out, a few hundred more. Staying an extra night is more. Some hotels are 500 per night for 5 nights. It stacks. Sam probably spends 10,000 on some events, to be honest. First place with, oh, okay, you know, not everyone is rich. Not everyone spends 10,000 for a weekend. But it's a strange citation here. Like, where are you staying for 10 grand? 500 per night? Dude, are you getting like a happy ending massage at the 5-star luxury hotel spa? Like, where are you spending 500 per night? Like, yeah, if you're rich, you could afford that. That's fine. But you don't need to spend that amount of money to go to an event. None of this is relevant to Yu-Gi-Oh! This is all like, this is the same as Pokemon. This is just card game. This is just traveling. Like, this is just life. Okay? If you're talking about all this stuff, none of this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Unique here. Like, what is he gonna do? He said he was gonna, like, play Pokemon now, right? Didn't he mention he was gonna do some Pokemon? Nothing changes, Trif. Except the cards and stuff, you can take away this cost here. You're still gonna be spending flight, hotel, food, and all that stuff, right? So, this is a strange thing to quit over. I really don't get it. The incentives are to travel and spend almost 2,000 per YCS is close to nothing. I don't know what Mesh is talking about either, especially as a European. For those who are European in the chat here, may I direct you to, this is not sponsored, but a cool little website called Ryanair. If you book a flight on that website, you can go to a YCS for like 20 bucks. They'll probably put you in the cargo. You won't get any food. You have one backpack. But you can travel very cheap in EU, okay? It's the EU, if you plan ahead and stuff, get in early. You can get in, you can get pretty cheap accommodation and stuff for events. Neshedi spends 2,000 for events. I spend like 450 total most of the times, and that's the venue, and that's venue hotels. Yeah, if you factor, this would probably be a cool video to do, just like a breakdown of like costs and stuff associated with like a full event, which maybe I'll do at some point. Give people an idea of this kind of stuff. But if you are booking for that amount of this price here, like, you're doing something wrong. You're planning things incorrectly. You're buying at the last minute, or you're trying to live a little bit extravagantly for a YCS weekend, okay? It is not below me to live in some crappy accommodation for like 3 nights to attend the YCS, because I'm going to use that accommodation for sleeping in a shower at best, because I'm outside 99% of the time at the event, hanging out with friends, meeting people, or playing in the tournament, right? So I don't know. That's weird. At that point, spending the money is surely completely unrelated to the YCS. Yeah, exactly. All right, like, this is just, none of this is YCS related here.